Raise your hand if you have a sibling. Now raise your hand if one of the most embarrassing moments of your life was because of your sibling. Hello, my name is Vivian Garcia and welcome to my TED Talk. Talking about embarrassment, here's my story. One day I was talking to my teammates on a Zoom meeting because of COVID and suddenly my door slammed open. It was my sister and she looked really furious. She was asking for my phone, but I told her I was not going to lend her my phone because I was using it. So she started yelling at me. At the end, I gave her my phone because I wanted to keep working, but on purpose, I didn't unlock it. When she realized that, she got even angrier and threw my phone into my window. The sound was really, really loud. After that, I got mad too, so I started yelling. But when I looked at my screen, I realized that this whole time I had been unmuted. After that, I muted myself immediately and finished the fight. After my sister left, I apologized to my teammates and they asked me if I was okay. They said that the sound was her hitting me in the head with something. This whole story led us to one thing. Siblings are forever. You can just wake up one day and decide that you don't want to be the sibling of your sibling anymore. Which is why most experts said that it is preferable to have a good relationship with your sibling than one that lacks politeness and respect. It's okay if you have disagreements from time to time. You're siblings. Fighting is completely normal. But it's important to balance positivity and negativity in a relationship, most important in a close one. The reason behind this is that these types of relationships are constrained by the land and in some cases genetics, so they're not changeable. However, the open-field ones like friendship or love interest happen to be voluntarily and are more likely to form and end at much faster rates. Now that you heard my embarrassing story, let's talk about the impacts. Having a sibling can not only make an impact in the way you behave, but also in your health. Effects can be physical as well as mental. For example, older siblings who tend to drink or smoke, your younger siblings will be 4 times more likely to do the same. Hey, I didn't say the created impact was going to be good, but there are some positive effects, actually really good effects, such as extending your life. Yes, you heard me well. Having a sibling can make you last more years. Studies have proven that siblings with strong bonds can live longer. The gap between people who have a powerful bond and those who are only children is approximately 7.5 years, which actually is the same gap smokers and non-smokers have. So if you want to live longer, do not follow your sibling's steps into the smoking path, but make sure to create a strong bond. Can you imagine how powerful the bond of Prince Charles was? He was going to live for a century. Amazing, right? Influence between siblings has an important role on the development of each one of them. It can be directly or indirectly. When you're growing up, you start acknowledging certain lacks and interests of your own. So the tendency of comparing yourself to others starts, and the feelings of anxiety, insecurity, and competitiveness are even more constant than before. Even more when you have a sibling and they can do something you cannot. Parents have an important role in these type of situations. When they give more attention or praise to one sibling, this might let the other sibling think he or she is dumb or worthless of their attention. Favoritism and criticism can shatter the judged kid's self-esteem by causing psychological damage and creating a bridge between siblings. This will lead to a toxic relationship, which in the long run can cause depression, self-harming behavior, and substance use. Like Dr. Shido states, closeness between siblings is important so good communication can be put into practice. Therefore, topics such as abuse, suicidal thoughts, or pregnancy can be discussed and solved with support. Because one of the biggest risk factors for developing teams is suffering in isolation. That is why there has been evidence that suggests that having a healthy sibling relationship can promote empathy, pro-social behavior, and academic achievement. Have you heard about the sibling effect? It's a term based on each of the privileges and specific characteristics each of the siblings have in a family. Society and scientists are assuming it's true because of its accuracy towards many families. Characteristics such as the older sibling being the most scolded one, or with more responsibilities, or the younger one being the most spoiled, are the characteristics this effect is referring to. Talking from my own experience, I definitely can confirm that the sibling effect does exist. My oldest sister, yeah, the one from the embarrassing story, was the firstborn, so of course she got a baby shower, everything brand new. I didn't. Neither my middle sister. But when we fight, she gets scolded more times than me. That's a good thing. Another example are the pictures taken from each one of them. This is my sister's box, full of pictures of herself when she was a baby, when she went to school. It's pretty heavy. This is my box. Yeah, it's light. I don't even know if my middle sister has any pictures. And an important characteristic about middle siblings is that they are most likely to be unnoticeable. I can confirm this effect because I experience it every day. When I first started this project, I wanted to know the different points of view of different people about the impacts of having a sibling. So I made a survey. It was my first experiment. I was lucky enough to gather 74 anonymous answers, and here are my conclusions of the results. Apparently, all the people above 27 have at least one sibling. The reason behind this was that in the past, people used to have more children than today. For example, my mother has 5 siblings. My grandfather had 15. Yeah, 15. Crazy, right? I also asked if only children would want to have a sibling. Answers were very diverse, but most of them said that maybe when they were young, they would prefer to have one or to be the same sex as them, so they could play together and not feel too lonely. Another question was that if people think they have a good or bad relationship with their siblings. Most people answered that they think they have a good one because of the time they spend together and because they support each other. Just 42 people would like to improve their relationship. 42 of 67. It was kind of worrying. Well, the other 8 were the ones that mentioned that they are only children. Related to the sibling effect mentioned before, 38 people do believe in this effect, and some even mention an anecdote associated with the effect. They share the same characteristics, the older one being the most scolded one and with more responsibilities, and the younger one being the most spoiled and rebel. 24 people answered that they sometimes believe in the effect, and 12 people did not believe in this effect. I also asked, in what ways do you think siblings can affect someone's life? The answers were mental health, social life and relationships, communication, development of gender identity and personality, independency, and it reduces divorces between parents. Now, let's talk about a different type of siblings, twins. But did you know there are two types of twins? The monozygotic, which are identical twins, and the dizygotic, which are most common to be a boy and a girl and did not come from the same placenta. Twins were considered an anomaly in many parts of the world centuries ago. For example, in West Africa, the Yoruba people in Nigeria used to exile or kill women if they gave birth to twins. This meant a sign of alarm in the community, so that's why everyone was afraid. Nowadays, twins are considered normal and are even praised in some communities. I mention this because there have been studies that prove twin telepathy, a special psychic connection between twins that consists in finishing each other's sentences, thinking the same thoughts, or sharing the same feelings at the same time. That's why, for my second experiment, I interviewed a pair of twins to prove the twin telepathy phenomenon. Their names are Tanya and Annie Schreiber. Oh, who am I fooling? I don't know how to pronounce their last name. Let's stay with Tanya and Annie, who are 24 years old. They talk about their relationship, which is very close, and how their telepathy works. Both had shared dreams and finished each other's sentences. One of the most surprising experience Tanya mentioned was that one day Annie got injected, and as a result, she fainted. At the same time, Tanya started to feel terrible and her blood pressure dropped. The most incredible thing was that both were in totally different places. That explains that the twin telepathy does exist. We've come to an end, finally, and I just wanted to say that one of the things that surprised me the most was that many people believe that just by having fun with your siblings means that you have a good relationship with them. Those ideas are a complete opposite from the purpose of my investigation. In my opinion, siblinghood is about trust, communication, and support. Those three are the basis to build a strong bond with the people you share blood and genes with. Thank you very much and see you next time.